Get through this pretty quickly. Okay, so thank you guys for joining. Another one of these brief team sessions today. Last one of these we did, I talked about our journals at Ovid collection. And something I don't know if you guys have used or are familiar with is we also have access to Oxford medical journals through the Oxford medical Oxford Journals resource. And the way to get to this is if you go to the main LUCOM library page and access the research guide that we've built. It's on the A to Z list. These are alphabetical, so you just scroll down to Oxford Medical Journals. And this link actually takes you directly to medicine and health journals in Oxford Academic. There's other subjects available here, and if you click on journals by subject, you'll see there's even some science and mathematics or social sciences you might be interested in, but we link directly to the medicine and health journals available in the resource. And you can search by, like I said, by subject. You can do journals A to Z. You can search within their collection over here or do an advanced search. But just as an example to show you some of the things that are available in the different journals in this collection, I was going to look at the American Journal of Epidemiology, which will pull up the journal within this resource here. And this is something that's put out by Society for Epidemiologic Research and Johns Hopkins. And there's already some familiar stuff from other resources that you might be more familiar with. Impact factor is a big deal. I know that's usually used in another resource we used to have called Web of Science, where you could actually get the impact factor of different journals to know kind of where they rank and the impact, or how many times an article was cited or how many times an author has been cited. So you do have access to impact factor ranking here in the Oxford Academic Journals. You'll see there's one and there's another one for 5-year overall impact. I did another one of these team sessions talking about Scopus, which is a resource from Elsevier we have access to. We actually we moved from using Web of Science to using Scopus here at Liberty. And some of the metrics I talked about in that resource were site score, the SciMago journal rank is just how it's the same kind of thing, just realize that these metrics they're used a little differently for the same purpose. So we have journal rank here, site score for how many times a journal is cited. It's the same kind of thing for our impact factor available here. If you'll look underneath the heading for the journal, you'll see they try to put up, I don't know what you'd call these, a carousel or boards of the latest articles that have been published, things that are really trending, kind of most read, and things that the editor really wants to point out, the editor's choice for the articles in that issue. There's social networking kind of embedded into this, so I don't know if anybody's actually tweeting out journals or journal articles or sharing them on Facebook. But you'll see they've got a feed here of the latest tweets regarding the articles that have been published in this particular journal. You'll see that the current issue is volume 191, issue 1 for January 2022. But you'll see up here, there's a menu up here where you'll see issues. And if you click on that, you can actually find past issues, years. You can choose which decade you want to look through. Obviously, these go way back. This is kind of cool that this is available because if you've ever used New England Journal of Medicine through any of the resources that we have access to through the library, you know that they embargo their most current 3 months of their journal. So they don't have the most current 3 months available electronically. Right. So to be able to have this is pretty great. And what's also pretty cool is you'll find there's where is it? More content. Here we go. So next to issues, if you see this little drop down that says more content, there's another link to this editor's choice, but this advanced articles link actually takes you to things that they have published ahead of print. So you'll find articles that are very, very current that haven't even been put in a physical volume yet, or might not even be available in the most current issue available electronically. And if I can get it to come up here, you'll see some of these are published today. I mean, these are very, very current. Something I've pointed out in some other resources. I don't know how many folks use RSS feed aggregators, but they have feeds available here that you can subscribe to. And if usually you can find feed readers available for free. I've got one that's like an extension onto my browser called FeedBro. It's ridiculous, but there's all kinds of ones available. But you can subscribe to that, and just so you don't have to go to the resource. So if you subscribe to the RSS feed for the latest issues, you'll get an update about that each time, or advanced articles. So if you really want to stay ahead of what's coming out ahead of print, You can subscribe to open access content or that editor's choice. You can also sign up for email alerts if you don't use a feed reader. Let me see if I wanted something else here. So for people who are going to be publishing, if you're looking at publishing an article in any of the journals available in the Oxford Academic Health and Medicine collection, you'll find a drop down here for submit, and you can find author guidelines. There's a submission site. There's options if you want to publish as open access articles, but this can be pretty useful. I know a lot of our faculty are trying to submit papers for publication. Obviously, you might have a different journal in mind than American Journal of Epidemiology, but this one in particular has instructions and manuscript submission instructions for how you submit articles for publication in that journal. Don't worry about this purchase so much. That's just if you don't have access to this resource. So as an example, if I pull up this most current latest issue, a couple things I want to point out that's available. You'll see there's commentary, original contributions. Let's say Vita commentary, childhood adiposity, obesity or something.
Yeah.
So you get PDF access to journal articles. So I don't know how you guys do things. I have a hard time reading long articles on a computer screen, so sometimes I'll pull up a PDF and print it out. Mm-hmm. So you have access to that, or if you want to save it to your computer as a PDF. Something that's kind of cool that this offers that other resources don't is this split view, and it'll actually pull up the side-by-side where you've got the article over here, you've got abbreviations, acknowledgements, references. For different articles, you'll find if it's a really long article, let's see if I can find another one here, because the other example I had more in the split view. It'll pull up, yeah, so it'll pull up the article on the left, and on the right I've got abstract, abbreviations. It's got headings of different sections that are within the paper, the conclusion and acknowledgements, or just the references. It's kind of cool. It's just this is kind of unique to this resource. I haven't seen this in other resources. Something else you'll see if I click on this article again. So split view PDF. So citations. If you're pulling up articles within a journal on this resource, you can grab the citation for whichever citation manager you're using. You can choose the format. The one officially supported by the university is this RefWorks, so you would save it as a .txt file, and you could download that and then import it into your citation manager, which for us is RefWorks. I also like Zotero, so that you can download a .ris for Zotero. That's a free citation manager if you like that one instead. And one of the last two things I want to show is I tried to show this in Journals at Ovid. It got buried and I lost track of it. But this permissions link is pretty cool. If you're just using journal articles for PowerPoints or lectures, you probably, if you guys have seen that metric that I sent one time about how to do a pro and con list for favoring fair educational use, if you're using a journal article or a section of a journal article in a lecture, you probably don't need to request permissions. If you're publishing a chapter of a textbook, or submitting a journal article and want to be able to use figures or something that you found in an article here, there's this link for permissions that takes you to this. This is kind of a universal thing called Rights Link. It's available for different resources we have, and it literally takes you through the process. Like say you want to do a poster presentation. Let's see if I can find poster. I don't see it, but let's see. Well, I don't see my intended use here. I can say what I want to use it for. If I want to use it for a poster presentation or a journal article, what my currency is. You can choose if you're the author, the publisher, medical education communication, and how you're going and distribution quantity. So how many times you're going to use it, which would be different if it's electronic. But this will take you through the process of what it might cost to request rights to be able to use the content you find here in a poster presentation or a textbook chapter or an article that you're publishing. So it's kind of a useful tool. They build right into it. And the last thing I want to show is, I don't know how many people actually share content on social media, but you can share articles through email, Twitter, Facebook, and you can find more, but most people are using Twitter, Facebook, or email. So they build that functionality directly into it. So that's basically all I wanted to show for today. This is a pretty great resource for health and medical journals that are available from Oxford, and there's some pretty cool tools. I really like the split view, and I like it that we can download citations directly into our citation manager. for whatever project you're working on. So thank you guys for your time, and I'm going to stop the recording if I can.
Yeah, thanks. I wasn't even aware of that.